All right, welcome again. Welcome to DuePoint's head office. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules, especially on a Friday at lunchtime. I know there's always better things to do on a Friday at lunchtime. My name's Rob. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint, and we're going to be spending the next 45 minutes together. I'll be telling you about what we do as a business and how you can get involved. Also welcome everyone who's tuned in around the country on the live stream. So let's begin. Like I said, you're at our head office. We're actually a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. That's their building in the background, their little orange logo. They are a registered insurance business in South Africa, one of the very few. The FSP number that we operate under is that one that you see over there. You'll notice in the foyer above the water cooler, we've got all our FSP licensing on display. So we've got a long and short-term insurance license, we've got a investment license, we've got an FSP license, and we've also got some accreditation with the direct marketing and the direct selling associations. So credibility is very important for us. I trust that some of the guests here this afternoon probably have never heard of DuePoint before. You might have heard of Constantia because they've been around since 1952, so for a very long time, nearly 70 years. Very reputable business. They actually listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a company called Conduit Capital. So feel free to Google us, do a background check. Like I said, credibility is very important for us. At this stage of the presentation or the business proposal, it's important that you start developing some form of trust with the business that we're going to be speaking about. Okay, these are the individuals, or at least the executives and the managers here at DuePoint. The three individuals on the far left are all registered chartered accountants. Brendan is our senior executive. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because his family have been involved in insurance his entire life. His father's actually a professor of insurance who taught at Wits for 25 years. And they, as a family, I guess, they've started a number of financial businesses, locally as well as abroad, that have been very successful. Brendan and his brother Stuart followed in their father's footsteps. They founded a short-term insurer down the road called Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD, who do millions of rands worth of advertising a day almost, because we get exposed to that advertising all the time. If you watch TV or listen to the radio, I've got a billboard right outside my office. So we're very lucky to have him as our senior executive. Tim Reynolds has got a lot of experience in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group, where he reported directly to the executives there, and he heads up our regulatory, our auditing, and our accounting aspects here at DuePoint. Stacey supports him in that role. She's got a lot of experience in auditing. She was with Deloitte before she joined DuePoint. She worked here as well as overseas in Luxembourg in Europe. And then the two non-accountants, the fun of the party. Anyone got friends as accountants? No? Accountants don't really have friends. I think that's why they started this business, to meet people. So we're the two non-accountants. Jane is actually from York in the UK, so I think she's in reception. If you spoke to her or she greeted you, you'll notice her Yorkshire accent. She's got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling, which is obviously key to our business. It's fundamental to our business, because even though we're an insurance business, our success is predicated through the growth that is focused through referral or network marketing, as some people refer to it. So she brings a lot of that experience to the team. And then myself, I've been working in marketing and advertising most of my life. I studied design, so by trade I'm a designer or a creative director. I started a digital agency in the mid-90s, late 90s, and ran that for almost 20 years, fairly successfully. We operated quite heavily within the financial sector. Seems to be the only sector that has money, so it was a good sector to operate within. But I exited that business and I joined DuePoint, and I'll touch on the reason why I exited that business, or at least one of the biggest reasons why I left the business. So this is the team. Again, like I said, credibility is important to us. I hope that you can start building trusting relationship with the people that actually drive this business, because that is obviously key to any business proposition, is that you trust the people that you're going to be getting into business with. Okay. All right, so why are we here? You got duped into coming to a presentation during lunchtime. Maybe there was an offer of free tea and coffee. Maybe the person that invited you here gave you the premise or alluded to the premise of financial opportunity. They might have been quite blunt and said to you, are you interested in making more money? Right, as blunt as that. Because there are a number of driving factors that kind of got you to this position. Like I said, there are way more better things to be doing Friday lunchtime than coming to a business presentation to see how you can spend some extra time in your schedule, because our schedules aren't full enough as is. So what is that driving behavior? Well, a couple of things that we look at. One is the economy. Anyone happy with the current state of affairs in our economy in South Africa? You can say, well, we're not the only country that's suffering. All the other countries are suffering. It doesn't make our suffering any easier, does it? Knowing that other people are suffering too. And the economy, when I was doing this presentation last year, I don't think it could get any worse. But the economy has gotten worse. In the last 6 months, it's been declared that we're in a technical recession, which means the economy is actually shrinking at the moment. For the last 6 months, it's actually gotten smaller. And what that translates into is that there are actually fewer jobs. And what fewer jobs means is that people actually lost their jobs. Okay? To exacerbate that issue, we've got about 800,000 kids coming out of school every year into a job market that doesn't create jobs. We're sitting in negative territory. Last year, we used to quote the economy's growth rate, which was 0.3%. Now it's in negative territory. I can go on and on about the economy, but I don't want to depress everyone on a Friday afternoon. The other aspect that we look at is debt. Now, the economy can be very frustrating for one reason, in that it's out of our control, right? You can be frustrated by something, and often we will try fix the issue. But when you say, well, the economy is in recession and it's causing unemployment and retrenchment and all these things, and companies really struggling, there's not much we can do about it as individuals. But the second aspect that we speak about is debt. Now, debt is certainly something you've got control over, right? Because remember, no one forced you into debt. And I trust that almost everyone in this room has got some form of debt, right? Almost the entire working population has got debt. Even the people that are unemployed have got debt, okay? And we get a lot of statistics from the FSB that kind of paints this picture of what personal finance looks like for the average South African, and it's also not a pretty picture at all. Unfortunately, as a country, we engage very little in investments and savings, and we engage primarily with debt instruments, right? So when you first started working, you typically got a salary. That salary got paid into a bank account, and then companies, financial service businesses, a host of other companies flagged you as a wonderfully potential client because they knew you were going to get paid every month. And if they know that you're getting paid every month, they know that you'll pay for their product or service every month through debit order or whatever payment device you agree to. And so South Africans will engage in a host of debt instruments that are very common and very acceptable. Right? So we've got credit cards, you've got home loans, car loans, you've got educational loans, personal loans, micro-lending loans, hire purchase. The list goes on and on and on, and South Africans engage in all of them for the majority of their lives. When we start looking at savings and investments, South Africans only start looking at savings and investments, or at least engaging in them, when they're in their 50s on average. Right? So it's taken us about 30 to 40 years to realize maybe I should stop engaging in debt instruments and actually start saving towards a retirement, because this thing called retirement is looming down on us, and it gets closer and closer and closer, and a greater reality for us the older we get. And so personally, in my own life, when I was 20, I didn't really think about retirement much. I had started working. I started my own business at an early age. I was doing quite well. Compared to my peers who had gone to university for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, started on that tiny salary when you get your first job, and I was doing quite well. Did I invest any of it in my 20s? No, I didn't. Right? And then you get to your 30s, and suddenly you become a lot more accountable. So most of us in our 30s now, suddenly we're getting married, and we're having kids, and you're looking at trying to buy a house, and suddenly you've got more and more debt, and you've got little financial burdens running around. And so you engage in debt more, right? And then into your 40s, I can say into your 40s because I'm 40 from last year, end of last year, you start to think about retirement a lot more seriously. Fortunately, through my 30s, I started engaging in some form of retirement planning. We had a pension scheme at our office, at our work, in our business, and you start looking at other investments. But probably not to the extent that you need it, right? So late last year, just as I was about to turn 40, Tim sent me some data on what responsible retirement planning looks like. Okay, and this was an article published on the fin24.com website. And this gave me a minor heart attack in my office when I received it, because it tells you how much money you need to save in order to derive some form of income when you hit this thing called retrenchment. And oddly enough, retrenchment, not retrenchment, you see, I'm getting the words mixed up, but they actually mean the same thing. Retirement and retrenchment have the same net effect. You don't have a salary at the end of either, right? So there's 3 columns over here. The 3 columns are headed by what income you can derive out of a particular investment that you've made. So if you engage in responsible retirement planning, you'll start saving money every month. And by the time you retire, you'll have this cash investment that you've created. And that investment can pay you out interest, which you'll use as income to then carry on living. Hopefully you don't have any debt by that stage. So if you've saved R1 million, that R1 million will pay you out 5,000 Rand a month for the next 30 years. Okay. The article was actually premised on the rising mortality rate. Right? You know, retirement planning is not new. Why would they write an article about it? But this was actually premised on the rising mortality rate. So currently people are dying on average at about the age of 74 today. Women die a little later than men. But the people sitting in this room, we're probably going to live into our 80s or our 90s. Kids being born today are probably going to reach 100 years old, 100 years of age. And that's because of the increase in medical technology, advancements in medical services, and those type of things. So retirement planning has to follow suit with this data, right? So 30 years is what they're saying. 5 million Rand a month will pay you out 26,000 Rand a month, and then 10 million Rand will pay you out 52,000 Rand a month. Is anyone even considering the first column? 5,000 Rand a month. What's 5,000 Rand a month going to do for you? It's not even going to pay for your groceries for a family of 4. Not even close. Okay. Is anyone saving towards R1 million? Is that your goal? By the time you retire, you should have R1 million saved. No. You know, and we're not even looking at this column, but we're not even doing the first column, right? You look at the second column, 5 million Rand to derive a 26,000 Rand income, which is certainly a lot more realistic in terms of trying to cope with regards to cost of living and whatever else. You want to actually enjoy your retirement. You've just spent your entire life, 40, 45 years working for somebody else. At least when you get to retirement, have something that you would enjoy or something to look forward to. Do you know how many South Africans actually engage in responsible retirement planning to the point where they can be financially independent when they retire? 2%. So there's about 25 people in the room. That's maybe a leg and an arm that's going to retire financially independent. The rest of us are going to be financially dependent. What does that mean, financially dependent? Dependent on who? Your kids? You're going to become financial burden now to your kids who are in their 30s and 40s, who are just about to come out of this thing called debt and actually start looking at engaging in proper savings and investments at the age of 50. But South Africans are in the cycle, right? We see it with the majority of South Africans. Like 90% of us are in the cycle that I've kind of explained to us, where you come out of school, you start working, you enjoy your 20s, you start becoming very accountable in your 30s, you engage in those typical debt instruments that we spoke of, that no one turns a nose up to. Everyone's like, oh, of course you need a home loan. Who's going to buy a car cash? You need that. Oh, everyone's got credit cards. They're convenient, right? But they are crippling to us from a financial point of view. It's bizarre to me that schools don't teach anything about financial education. It's probably one of the most, Brendan will say in his intro presentations, money isn't everything, but it's about 99% of it. Because when you don't have any of it, boy, do you feel pain and stress, right? We can all speak about political freedom in this country, and we've got public holidays that celebrate that. But what about financial freedom? Because that's really what we want, is financial freedom. So we figured a way out to break South Africans out of the cycle. We created this thing called the DuePoint system, and it really is your opportunity to break out of the cycle, because there is no opportunity for the average South African to break out of that cycle. Are you going to wait for the economy to suddenly change and benefit you? Is your boss suddenly going to give you that 100% raise that's going to change your life? Or are you going to get the big bonus at the end of the year? that's going to change everything. Probably not on all three counts. So we have to look at something additional. And that something additional is called the DuePoint system. And here at DuePoint, we've got 3 aspirations for our wealth engineers. Number 1, and this is really a primary focus for everyone at DuePoint. I hope it becomes a focus for the wealth engineers that join this business. But for us, we want to see our wealth engineers become debt-free, to actually have debt-free status, where all the money that arrives in your bank account stays in your bank account until you decide how you want to spend it. Right? At the moment, the salary goes in and the debit orders. Let me tell you, the financial service providers run for those debit orders. It's a competition between financial service providers in terms of debiting your account. Did you know that? I know that because we're one of those institutions that debit accounts. So we want to see our wealth engineers become completely debt-free. The second aspiration is to see you start investing in a true investment, a true investment, something that you can work towards in the long term, not in the short term. Unfortunately, we live in a society where everything's about short-term gratification, instant gratification. We don't look at these products that are long-term products, right? We start to panic early and quit. So we want to help you engage in a long-term investment. The third thing that we look at is just to see our wealth engineers happier, stress-free at the end of the month, stress-free through January. January when we're all stressed because December's cost us so much, and then in February at the financial year, and you realize you're not getting the 8% increase from your employer because the employer is also in survival mode. And so now inflation is sitting at 8%, food inflation is sitting at 11%, your salary is actually devalued every time you don't get that 8% increase. So that's our ultimate aspiration, right? That's why we're all sitting here. You all have hope that you're going to be exposed to something that's going to change your situation and give you happiness, change your life, the life of your family, so that everyone's smiling at the end of the month and the end of the year, because you'll be broken out of the cycle. You're not going to be debt-free. You're working on something long-term that looks like it's going to be a great investment for you. That kind of sums up the DuePoint system in terms of the aspirations. So how does this work? Well, our guests here this afternoon, you've got the opportunity to join DuePoint. You actually contract with us. When you contract with us, we call you wealth engineers. And as wealth engineers, we want you to do only one thing. And that is to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And I'll show you what a channel of distribution looks like. Okay? And through these channels of distribution, through our online platform, we'll attempt to place product with these people that you introduce to us. Okay. What is the benefit for you? The benefit is, well, the first one's fairly obvious. You get to create an additional income stream for yourself. This is the only way you can get rid of your debt any faster than what you're currently doing, is that additional income stream, an extra income. The nature of our business allows you to create a recurring income stream. Now, this is an awesome, awesome benefit. Now, this is the reason why I left my business, because we couldn't create recurring income. I worked in a service-based business, an agency, so we had salespeople, account managers, we had designers and developers, some admin staff, and then the 3 bosses, right? And at the beginning of every month, we had a monthly target, so we knew what our costs were. We knew we had to exceed our costs if we wanted to make profit, and we would go out. The salespeople are going out doing sales, hopefully bringing business in. The production was then met by the designers and the developers, a little bit of administration, and then hopefully invoiced by the end of the month. Okay, and then hopefully our turnover would exceed our costs and we'd make some profit. But at the end of that month, guess what happened? I'd have to start all over again from zero. From zero, and do the same thing. I did this for 17 years. I don't know why. 17 years it took me to realize this is not the business you want to be in. Because I started to realize after 17 years that I was going to be doing this until I was 70 years old. Maybe longer. Because we weren't making these massive profits where I was being able to invest and buy property and do this. I wasn't. I was making costs and a little bit of profit, having a fairly decent life, but nothing beyond that. And that's really what employment is. You can say, oh, but you had your own company. I was stuck in the same cycle as an employee is stuck in. So the opportunity to create recurring income and creating this additional income allows you to break out of the cycle, right? Because this business, the effort that you put into it is not going to pay you at the end of only 1 month, and then you have to start at zero. No, you start off where you left off. So if you built recurring income that's paying you 1,000 Rand a month, it's going to keep paying you 1,000 Rand a month. And you're going to build onto that and build onto that. You don't have to work twice as hard to earn twice as much in this business. You get to leverage in this business. So this is the power of duplication. This is why some successful bosses earn so much and get the biggest bonuses, because they leverage all the staff that work for them, right? You get to do a similar thing in this business. This channel of distribution that you build is something that can get bigger and bigger and bigger every month, and your leverage increases. So if you've got limited time, which we all have, let's say, for example, you only have an hour a day. But if you've got a team of 10 people in your channel of distribution, each putting in an hour every day, suddenly you've got 11 hours being invested into your business that'll increase your recurring income every month. This is leverage, right? So these two benefits, recurring income and leverage, are probably the most important benefits. Sorry, flexi time. So flexi time is a two-edged sword. Initially, when I gave the presentation, I thought this is a great benefit. Anyone, you can do this business in your free time. But what I've learned over the last couple of years is you won't be successful if you're only doing this business in your free time. So by the end of this presentation, if you think this business is a good opportunity for you that you want to get involved in, please be sure that you know the sacrifice that you need to make in terms of time for this business to be successful. Because anyone can join the business. Literally anyone can join the business. To be successful in the business is a whole nother story. It requires you to go, right, what am I sacrificing every week so that I can fit DuePoint into my life? Into perpetuity, forever. Because if this business is successful for you, you'll be here forever. Right? There's no startup capital. There's no registration fees. We don't sign you into a 12-month or 24-month contract. It's a very low-risk business opportunity. There's no qualifications or experience required. We work in financial services. We have to abide by tons of regulation. We contract you actually out of that obligation. So you can enjoy the benefits of being in financial services without that onerous obligation. Build an asset. This is actually also a very important benefit, because if I propose to you that I want you to spend your spare time, or at least sacrifice your spare time, we're talking about time with your family, watching sport on the weekend, relaxing because employment's so stressful, all of that time that you have. If I propose to you that's the time I want for you now to invest in DuePoint, at least know that you have ownership over this channel of distribution that you're building. This flies in the face of employment, because we'll all work for somebody else, for some other company, for 40, 45 years, where we don't have ownership, no shareholding, no profit share, no dividend check every quarter, no say in the business. But we'll spend our lives doing that. In this business, you've got ownership over this channel of distribution that you're building. You can sell it, you can give it to your kids, you can seed it to your beneficiaries if something happens to you. You can move it into a family trust. There are options in this business with regards to what you're building. There's no selling involved. Now, you should be very relieved that there's no selling involved, because I bet the first question you asked the person that came up to you and said, I've got a business opportunity for you, you said, what's the products, what are we selling? Am I right? The guests all got blank looks on their faces. Right? That's always the assumption. What are the products? What am I selling? There's no selling. We contract you out of selling in this business. Okay, this might confuse you, but I'll enlighten you shortly. The nature of our products, because they're financial, are obviously intangible, so they don't take up space. There's no boxes of vitamins or milkshakes behind the counter that you have to buy. We make this business as convenient and as simple as possible for you to get involved in and to be successful in, but it's predicated on you being successful, which means being successful at building channels of distribution. It begins with you. So once you become a wealth engineer, the only thing we want you to do, which excludes selling, is going out and telling people about the business opportunity that exists, not about our products. About the business opportunity. That is the most valuable commodity in South Africa at the moment, is opportunity. Income creating opportunity. Not selling financial products. Don't go out and sell financial products. You're not allowed to. We contract you out of that. It's going out and telling people that there's a business opportunity called DuePoint. And if you're successful in that, if you get, let's say, for example, 5 people, your friends, acquaintances, colleagues, to come in, sit through a presentation, also become enlightened by this opportunity, join, become wealth engineers, oh dear. Bill Gates. Bill Gates, you know. Sorry, guys, that was a first. Okay, I think we're back in action. Yes, so this is what your channel of distribution looks like, right? The success you had in getting 5 people to join this business can translate into a channel of distribution that is much larger than the few 5 people that you introduced to us, right? This is leverage. This is the power duplication happening. You're the MD or the CEO. This is your business. You're being paid a recurring income for every single product that appears in your channel of distribution. Recurring income. You're getting paid every single month based on this channel of distribution. And next month there'll be a few more people. You don't know anyone beyond this point. So this is what a channel of distribution looks like. And it's through you telling other people what DuePoint's all about, not its products. Okay. Now this is my warning slide or my disclaimer slide. Because I know, having been introduced to this business a couple of years ago, I know, or I suddenly became very aware of the amount of, they call them get-rich-quick schemes, floating around this country. I never believed there were so many. I'm still surprised every single day. This is not one of them. We're a 70-year-old insurance company, pretty much run by fuddy-duddy accountants, right? Straight-laced individuals, at least very credible individuals. We don't smell anything like a get-rich-quick scheme. So you'll be excused if you thought maybe perhaps you were invited to one of these. But I'm telling you now, we're not one of those. I'm not going to promise you success in this business comes easily. Because success in any sphere of life doesn't come easily. It doesn't. Think about it. You want to lose weight? You want to be good at your marriage? You want to be a good parent? Are those all easy things to be successful at? No, they require time. There's frustration involved. There's learning curve. You keep questioning yourself about, am I doing this right or wrong? What can I do to improve? This business is not dissimilar to that in any way. If you've ever had the pleasure of trying to start your own business, you'll realize how difficult it is. 95% of new companies fail in the first year. Do not expect short-term success in this business. It doesn't exist anywhere. So if you're looking at this business, if you're interested in it, be sure that you're going to have frustration. But frustration is the road to success. Does frustration cause you to quit, or does it cause you to just try harder, to persevere? If it's the latter, there's success at the end of that road. If you're one of these people that want short-term results, I promise you, you'll be out the door within the first 6 months. My disclaimer. Okay, let's talk about the money. We pay our wealth engineers every month a thing called a return. The return is based on how many products you have in your channel of distribution. We pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product in your channel, right? So remember the first 5 individuals that you introduced to the business? They lie on your first point. We call that point 1. It's the product, the people are 1 point away from you. And on point 1, we actually pay you double the R27.50. So we pay you R55 for every product every month. Remember, it's recurring income. On the second point, exactly the same story. Again, R55 for every point, every month. And then the multiplier drops back to 100%. On the third point, it's R27.50. And as these products get further and further away from you, the multiplier drops down to 4%. But from the 8th point onwards, we will keep paying you that 4% of the R27.50. Okay? We don't limit you on how big your channel can get at DuePoint. We won't limit you on how much money you can earn at DuePoint. There's no limitation. The accountability lies with you. 100%. So this is the mechanics of the returns. I think it's very straightforward. The next natural question is obviously, well, I'm looking at this business, I'm interested in it. How much money can I earn after a certain amount of time? So we built this thing called the Path to Success. It relies on a growth formula called what we call 3+2. The 3+2 signifies a new wealth engineer coming into the business and being able to put 3 people in the business in their first month, and then only 2 new people every consecutive month thereafter. So it's 3 in the first month, 2, 2, 2. That's why we call it the 3+2 growth formula. If you can follow that growth formula, these are the numbers you can expect. So after 6 months, you should be around earning at least R2,500 worth of returns every month as recurring income. Okay, now I like this example because when I first looked at it, when the accountants proposed this growth formula, and I took a closer look, I thought, R2,500, that's not a lot of money after 6 months of work. right? Me sacrificing free time. But maybe that was my short-term mind thinking. But then I looked at it from a little bit of context, because our first goal with our wealth engineers is to see you become debt-free. So you ask yourself the question, well, what are you going to use that 2,500 rand on? I'm hoping it's going to allow you to start paying your debt off a little faster. So here we have an example of an individual with R1 million debt. R1 million debt, right? Found a nice house, went to the bank, got a loan that you agreed to pay off over how many years? 20. That's the one we all go for. You do realize you can get a shorter bond term. But we all go for the 20 because we want the biggest house possible that our salary can afford us, right? And I do exactly the same thing. So you find this R1 million house, you're probably going to be paying the bank back about 11,500 rand a month based on current interest rates, okay? And after some success at DuePoint, 6 months later, you're earning 2,500 rand. You take that 2,500 rand and you put it into your bond as an additional payment. What is the net effect of this? This little 2,500 rand that I turned my nose up at when I saw the first example. It's going to cause your bond term to drop from 20 years to 11.5 years. What does that mean? That means if you take out the bond in your 30s, you don't wait until you're in your 50s to pay your house off. You pay your house off when you're in your 40s, nearly 10 years sooner than what you would have. You don't become the 98% that only engage in investments because you can only afford it when you're in your 50s. You now have opportunity because you paid your house off 10 years sooner to engage in investments 10 years sooner and contribute to a retirement for 10 years longer than what you would have. How much do you think you save? That 2,500 saves you in repayments compared to the 20-year term. It's going to save you R1 million. I don't know if anyone's actually gone and checked this, because that's what I say in every presentation. No one's come to me and said, well, you were close. It's actually 995,000 rand. But go check it, because I didn't believe it. I thought, how can you save R1 million? How can you save 100% of the asset with 2,500 rand a month? I thought it must have been a mistake, but I went to check it. It's right. You save R1 million on a R1 million house with 2,500 rand. Do you understand how much the bank is making out of you? It has this compounding effect that cripples you, that locks you into this debt cycle for 20 years. Here is opportunity to get out of it. It's 6 months away. After 12 months, you could be earning 9,000 rand in recurring income. That's over 100,000 rand annually that you've created for yourself. How does your December holiday now look when you've got 100,000 rand extra? After 24 months, you're up to 30,000 rand in recurring income every month. Can you picture what 30,000 rand looks like for you? What does it mean to you? Your spouse can stay at home with the kids. We're talking about lots of options now. After 36 months, you're close to 50,000 rand a month. You want to look at the bond example? Here's an example of a 5 million rand bond. But at this stage, you're probably earning about 37,000 rand with DuePoint. If you place that as an additional payment into your bond, your term's going to drop to less than 7 years. Now, I love this example too. I love these bond examples because it gets me my imagination fired up. I think, well, I'm 40 today. If I can get to this point with DuePoint, then maybe by the age of 47, I can pay my house off. 5 million rand house paid off at 47. And then I'll do it again. I'll go buy another house for 5 million rand. That's actually where property becomes an investment. When you think your property that you live in is an investment, you're mistaken. Because you're living in it. You can't live in your investment. You need to rent it out to sell it, right? So by the age of 54, I've got 2 houses that I've paid off, 5 million rand each. By the age of 61, I could have paid off my 3rd house. Now when Brendan's ready to put me out to pasture, I've got 15 million rand in property assets that I've managed to pay off in 21 years. These are the options I want you to think about. When this stirs your imagination, think about long term. Don't think about short term. Don't get excited about what this business can do for you after 1 month or 3 months or 6 months. Get excited about what your retirement looks like with a business like this. After 48 months, you're close to 70,000 rand a month. And after 60 months, you've created for yourself about 1 million rand in recurring income. Do you even believe what that even looks like for you? I don't think anyone connects with that. 1 million rand. It's just a number, right? When the number gets too big, it's just a number. They say when your debt becomes just a number, the stress goes away. Got to get your debt high enough so that you stop stressing about it. And you're just like, there's no ways I'm paying that off. So why worry about it? You don't want to be in that position, by the way. So 60 months. Remember, this is based on this growth formula called 3+2. Can you do 3+2? For 60 months in a row? It's harder than you think it is. You want to go away on December. I challenge our wealth engineers. December is for employees to go away on holiday. DuePoint works over December, works on the public holidays, right? But this is all academic, because this is just an example the accountants came up with. You can certainly be part of the growing club of 0+0. We've got quite a big 0+0 club, the people that get excited in presentations like this and they join. It doesn't become part of their routine, and it just becomes one of those New Year's resolution type things that they adopt in their lives. But you can also do more than 3+2. Unfortunately, we've got plenty wealth engineers that are doing more than 3+2, and we happily showcase them in our Tell All Tuesday presentations. They come up and they share their stories with everybody. And they've got fairly colorful stories. This is Denzel. You can see he joined on the 31st of August. By April, sorry, that should be 2017. By April 2017, he was earning nearly 2,500 rand. So he kind of tracked 3+2 quite closely in those 6 months, right? So great. But if you speak to him, if you go listen to his testimony on YouTube, he'll say to you, he didn't realize what he was actually getting involved in at DuePoint. He was kind of coasting, making sure 2 people a month joined the business. And only from that point, maybe a little bit sooner, did he have this epiphany where he realized, I'm actually involved in a business that can change my life. Do I actually realize the weight of that fact? And he got stuck in. Denzel is here nearly every single night. He does training with his teams every single week. He's driving all over the country to speak to people that might be interested in this business. He has become 100% sold out for this business. He doubled his income in the space of 30 days. He gave himself a 100% raise, where the rest of us are begging for 8% a year. This business is about taking control over your income. But it requires accountability and leadership. It requires those things. But you can see it. You can see it in the wealth engineers that stand up on the stage and will tell you their stories. Nonkobela from the Eastern Cape. She joined on the 13th of March last year. She didn't do anything for an entire year. She joined the business. She paid her product for an entire year, joined the business, didn't do a thing. She only happened to be friends with another wealth engineer who was showcasing the success they were having on DuePoint on their Facebook page. They weren't selling DuePoint on Facebook. Let me just make that clear. These people that are advertising DuePoint on Facebook are killing me slowly. This lady didn't do that. She just showcased the success she was having, really what was happening for her in her life. And Nonkobela witnessed all of this, and a year after being a wealth engineer, phoned this lady and said, "What is DuePoint all about? I can see what you're doing and what you got." And she got stuck in. And this lady actually drove down to the Eastern Cape and went and spoke to Nonkobela, told her how the business is done, what to start doing. And she awakened the Eastern Cape for us. Just this lady, on her own. And the result has been awesome for her in the last few months. Again, she's given herself an increase every single month. Not once a year, every single month. So, little lady, owns a nursery school, has aspirations of starting her own trucking company, if you can believe that. She wants to get involved in logistics. I don't know where that passion comes from, but that's what she wants. That's what she wants DuePoint to be able to give to her, is the ability to start this business. And she started fairly early, and you'll see she's been up on the stage twice. She actually struggled end of last year. She was able to put 40 people into her channel in a single month on her own. But she made the mistake of trying to bring in anybody. Anybody who was interested, she just brought them in. And in December, she said to me, I had to start my business all over again. I was doing it incorrectly. She would build the business up and then it would collapse, and she would build it up and it could collapse. Right? It speaks to the quality of the people that you bring to these presentations. And so really at the beginning of the year, she started afresh. And look at the success she's had again. massive success, hardworking lady, runs her own business. She's found the time. I often hear that, I don't have the time. We've got hundreds of wealth engineers that we are paying every single month that have created an income stream for themselves over and above what they're getting as a salary. We know the platform works. Okay, so this is our returns. Over and above our returns, we've got something called the XP Rewards Program. Now, this is completely separate to the returns. Returns is what we pay you every month. The XP Rewards Program rewards you extra for the success that you have here at DuePoint. So if you become a wealth engineer this afternoon, you will typically start engaging in normal wealth engineer behavior, which is coming to presentations, bringing guests with you, logging into your dashboard to check how your business is doing. And when you do all of these things, we give you something called XP. It stands for experience points, and it really just indicates to us how active you are as a wealth engineer. And when you start collecting more and more of this XP and your business starts to grow in terms of the products in your channel, we reward you along the way, okay? Over and above the return we're paying you. So if you join this afternoon, you will start at rank 0. But very quickly you can get to rank 1 within the matter of days. Even in 24 hours you can get to rank 1. You need 1,000 XP and you need 4 products in your qualified channel. And if you meet those 2 criteria, we'll give you an extra 55 Rand reward at the end of the month. Can you get excited about 55 Rand? You need to at the beginning. You just have to. Okay? But the more success you have, you start to rank up in our rewards program. The rewards get bigger and better. So there you can see it. 400 Rand, 1,500 Rand, 50,000 Rand. We give our wealth engineers tools that will help them be more effective at building their channels of distribution. So we've got this lightning memory stick at rank 5. It allows you to show the DuePoint business to anyone, anywhere, because that little device plugs into anything. Cell phones, tablets, laptops, computers, TVs, whether it's Apple devices or Android devices, plugs into everything. It's got our video collateral on it, right? So now Patrick and Pumi can show anyone, doesn't matter what device they have, and they plug it in, watch DuePoint videos. Rank 7, we give you 12,500 Rand business cards. That's what it costs us, as long as we're getting 2 sets manufactured at the same time. If you had to get 1 set manufactured on your own, it would cost you about just over 20,000 Rand for 1 set. Okay? They're printed on very expensive recycled black, they call it a potato paper. It feels like suede to the touch. It's gilded in gold around the edges. The logo is foiled in gold in the front. There's no ink on this business card. And the business card's about 4 times thicker than any other card. You can fit only about 3 in your wallet at a time. Why would we do that? Because people outside of this building have probably never heard of DuePoint before. So when you come up with this proposition and you use the word DuePoint, there's no credibility in that. But I promise you, if you give them a 20,000 Rand business card, they will give you a little more time to explain who DuePoint is. Your credibility will suddenly jump up a couple of steps because your business card costs about 50 times more than theirs does. Okay? Credibility. At rank 9, this is not a once-off reward. Rank 9 is a recurring reward. It's one of the only recurring awards in the entire XP program. When you get to rank 9 and above, you'll enjoy this international conference with DuePoint every single year going forward with your family. You want to fly your family business class to a 5-star resort once a year for 7 days, all expenses paid? Rank 9. We've had one individual get there in 5 months. Again, the accountability lies with you. Take a look at where we're going. This is actual footage of the resort we're going to.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
Look good enough for everyone's standards of holiday? I tease everybody. I said, generally what happens when we look at going on holiday, we check the bank account, have a family meeting, and then you decide we're going to the Voldam or Mschlanger Rocks. Right? I think this is a step ahead of that. So we've already had 3 new families this year qualify rank 9. In the next couple of months, we'll have a couple more. You need to decide. There's no time limit on this. You've got as long as you want to get to rank 9. Again, accountability lies with you. At rank 11, you can only guess what happens at rank 11. We buy a car cash and give it to the wealth engineer. No debit order at the end of the month. No T's and C's. The car is yours. We used to say no branding, but what we've done is we put just a little D on the back. And that's as much as the branding. Insurance is for your account and petrol is for your account. But right, we're serious about getting our wealth engineers to becoming debt-free. When you don't have to pay for your overseas holiday every year. When you don't have to pay for the car that you drive around. I promise you that's going to get you a lot closer to that magnificent status of saying, I don't have any debt in my life. I don't pay anyone. Or I don't have a single debit order that runs off my account. We have a wealth quest, so this is another benefit for our wealth engineers. This is a challenge that we actually issue our wealth engineers once a month. So it's a little bit of fun that we have. It's a little bit of incentive for that month. It's a new challenge every month, and it's a new reward every single month attached to the challenge. So this month is called You're in the Army Now. It says if you can rank up in the XP Rewards program in this month, we will give you 60 gigs of data. So we'll give you for the next 6 months 10 gigs of data. It's very much a data-driven business. We started another incentive. So this incentive is called the Winter Solstice XP Challenge, right? It's very cold. People don't want to come out. So we're trying to incentivize all these people that prefer to stay indoors, not speak to anyone, start hibernating like bears in winter. We're running this challenge that says if you're able to put in a person between the 21st of June and the 30th of June, we will give you a XP bonus of 1,000 XP for every new wealth engineer that you bring in over this time. Okay. This slide just basically demonstrates our business model. It's very simple. We all pretty much understand the traditional business model. A lot of companies, especially insurance companies, will spend a lot of money on marketing and advertising to bring in new clients. DuePoint doesn't do any advertising. You won't see our logo outside of this building. We rely on our wealth engineers to go out and tell people about the DuePoint business opportunity. So instead of spending the billions that the insurance industry typically spends on client acquisition, we take that portion of our premium and we attribute it to returns and rewards for you, for our wealth engineers. Okay, so that basically illustrates that. We've got 3 products. The 3 products are very straightforward. They all have very different benefits, so you are free to look at taking out one product or all 3 products. That's purely up to you. The first product is an investment product. It is 299 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand will be invested in your name into a tax-free investment fund. Tax-free investment fund. Okay, this fund sits with Sanlam, the biggest investment house in the country. On top of that, we give you a little bit of insurance. We give you 110,000 Rand personal accident cover. Okay, so this is the investment product, Access Wealth. The second product is called Wealth Guard. This is purely an insurance product, a personal accident cover product. It is 274 Rand a month, but this time you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. The beauty of our personal accident cover, because they don't cover you in the event of dying through natural causes or illness or any of that. It covers you in the event of you dying in an accident. It means that we don't have to profile you from a health risk point of view. So you don't have to get urine and blood tests and tell us about your entire medical history for the last 40 years. And the result of that is that the premium always remains the same at 274, regardless of how old you are, and the cover is always the same, regardless of whether you're diabetic or you've got cancer and you're 80 years old. Okay, so this is the insurance product. The third product is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club. This product aims to save us money on the money that we spend every month anyway, right? So if you're a Wealth Points Buyers Club member, you get to engage with all these suppliers that we have as partners. It's 274 Rand a month, and we've negotiated discounts, different discounts with every single partner. So we know Shoprite Checkers is very popular because we all spend a fortune on groceries every month. So if you go to Shoprite Checkers, you get to enjoy a 2.5% discount on your entire trolley every time you go to Shoprite Checkers, right? So you are free to engage with any of those partners that we have, and we've got different discounts for all of them. So this is a great product. If you want immediate benefit out of any of the products, this is a good product to have. If you have any questions on the products, come speak to me. I remind you of the support that you get here at DuePoint. Don't become a wealth engineer and think you know how to do it or you can do it better than anyone else. Lean into the support. Our mandate as staff here at DuePoint is to support our wealth engineers, because as a business, we can only be successful if you're being successful. So everything that we do leans to supporting you. The live stream that we do for every event is so that you can build your business outside of Johannesburg. Right? So we've got thriving businesses in all the provinces. We only have a head office here. The live stream and all the digital technology that we've invested in does that for you. You can use our facilities. Do your own presentations here. We have many people having their own meetings in our boardrooms. You can use the breakout rooms. We've got free Wi-Fi. The tea and coffee is always available. Be at home here. Lean into the support. The decision slide. So I think you noticed we're near the end of the presentation. I've run a little bit over time, but the decision. What is the decision? The decision I'd like you to make is that if you're interested in this business, that you've already started thinking of how this business actually fits into your life. Because that's probably the hardest thing to do, right? You can get excited and join and become a wealth engineer, and you can become part of the 0+0 club, but I don't want that for you. I want to see you successful. So I'm telling you now, I'm promising you now, you have to schedule this in. It has to be in your diary. Whether it's Tuesday and Thursday evenings, or Saturdays, or the whole weekend, or every night of the week, it is up to you. The accountability now lies with you. How does this fit into your business? Or your life, should I say. Okay, and this is really the crux of the decision that we're making. We make joining very easy. You can jump onto our website, www.dupoint.net. There's a big blue apply button. You click on that, you'll be a wealth engineer in about 7 minutes. You go through the application form, pick your product. 7 minutes later, you're a wealth engineer. You can start phoning those first 5 people. Right? Get into the business. Don't wait around. Phone the people, bring them to a presentation. Let Brendan and myself do all the work. That's really what we're here for. Or let the live stream do all the work for you. You can start adding value to your life, to the time that you're investing immediately in this business. We've got Dev Seminar coming up tomorrow. So it's a new Dev Seminar. We've never done this one before. It's called Your First 30 Days. So this is ideal for the new wealth engineers that join us from today. Tune into the live stream or come to the head office. I actually think we're fully booked out already, but you can tune into the live stream. The Dev Seminar will be up on YouTube immediately after the live stream's done. Look at it. We lay out the whole first 30 days for you, right? Put it out in black and white for you to follow. Very straightforward. Will get you into this business and start giving you success within the first couple of weeks in this business so that you can be earning money by the end of the month. Okay, so that's tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. We've got merchandise. This is not a profit center for us. These are tools for you to be more effective. Please consider getting business cards. Out of all of these, please consider getting business cards, because you're going to propose a business solution to somebody and you don't have your own business card. Your credibility now goes the opposite way. The rank 7 cards would have taken your credibility. Okay, so consider getting those. All the pricing is on the reception table. All the merchandise is on display in the cabinet. The USB stick is actually very convenient for a lot of us, because I said, like, we're very much a data-driven business. You can save data if you want to by just buying the USB stick. We've got our videos on there, and nowadays you can plug them into TVs and all kinds of things to show people what DuePoint's all about. We've got a YouTube channel. All our videos are on there. Subscribe to it. It'll tell you every time a new video is on, every time we're doing a live stream. And we've got a mobile app that allows you to monitor and run your business from your smartphone. Awesome app. You don't have to open up a browser again. Just run the app. It reflects everything in real time that's happening in your business. Okay. Guys, I thank you for your time. I'm sorry for running over a little bit. If you have any questions, I'll be outside with some of the other staff. Come speak to me. And for those of you who are joining us, I'm very excited. I hope to see more of you. Thank you.